Ladies and gentlemen, when God blocks your path, it's not to hinder you, but to guide you toward a better destination. Too often, we see obstacles as barriers, as roadblocks meant to frustrate and delay us. But what if I told you that every closed door, every detour, and every unexpected twist in your life was not a denial, but a redirection? What if I told you that God's delays are not his denials? The path you thought was perfect for you may lead to ruin, but the one he places before you will lead to purpose. When God blocks your path, it's easy to feel disheartened, rejected, and defeated. You might wonder why the plans you poured your heart into suddenly fell apart, or why the opportunities you prayed for seem out of reach. But what if the path you were walking wasn't leading you to the life God designed for you? What if the blocked path wasn't a rejection, but a redirection towards something far greater? Rejection, as painful as it may seem, is often God's way of saving you from something that would harm you. Perhaps the job you didn't get would have drained your spirit. Maybe the relationship you longed for would have brought you heartbreak instead of joy. Or it could be that the dream you were chasing wasn't big enough for the purpose he's prepared for you. God sees the entire picture, past, present, and future, while we see only fragments. His perspective is infinite, while ours is limited by time and circumstance. He knows the dangers, disappointments, and distractions that lie ahead, and in his love, he redirects us away from them. The redirection might feel like a setback, but it's actually a setup for something better. Imagine a navigator guiding you on a journey. If a bridge is out or the road is closed, the navigator doesn't abandon you, it recalibrates your route. That's exactly what God does. He recalibrates your path to ensure you arrive at the destination he's chosen for you. The roadblocks aren't there to punish you, they're there to protect you. It's hard to see the beauty in redirection when you're standing at a closed door. The frustration of unmet expectations can cloud your faith and tempt you to give up. But God never removes something from your life without replacing it with something greater. The delay or denial you experience is not the final answer, it's a part of a divine process designed to refine and prepare you. Redirection is an invitation to trust God's timing and plan. It requires you to let go of control and lean into his guidance, even when it doesn't make sense. Sometimes God blocks your path to teach you patience, to strengthen your faith, or to shift your focus to what truly matters. He may close one door to open another, or he may remove an obstacle to reveal an entirely new path you didn't even know existed. Remember, God's plans for your life are always for your good, even when they don't align with your own. The blocked path isn't the end of your journey, it's the beginning of a better one. Trust him in the redirection, and you'll discover that what felt like rejection was actually a step closer to your destiny. Rejection is one of the hardest things to endure. Its sting shakes our confidence and leaves us questioning our worth. But what we often fail to see in the moment is that rejection is not the end of the road, it's God's way of shielding us from dangers we can't perceive. His love and wisdom go beyond what we can understand, and when he allows rejection to happen, it's not to harm us, but to protect us. Imagine you're about to walk through a door that seems perfect. It aligns with your plans, your desires, and even your prayers. But just as you're reaching out to open it, it slams shut. It feels unfair, unjust, and deeply frustrating. But what if behind that door lay heartbreak, loss, or failure? What if the opportunity you so desperately wanted would have led you away from your purpose, not toward it? God knows what's behind every door, and he closes them not to hurt you, but to keep you safe from unseen dangers. Sometimes rejection is about timing. What you want may not be wrong, but you might not be ready for it yet. God, in his infinite wisdom, understands the weight of blessings and the preparation required to carry them. He knows that receiving something too soon can crush you rather than uplift you. So he uses rejection as a tool to delay what's good until it becomes what's best. It's a pause, not a punishment, a way to ensure you're ready for the opportunities and responsibilities he has in store. There are also moments when rejection happens because the people, places, or paths you're pursuing are not meant for you. Not everyone you meet is supposed to journey with you, and not every opportunity is meant to elevate you. God sees the intentions, motives, and flaws of others that you can't. He removes toxic relationships, unhealthy environments, and misguided opportunities before they can derail your purpose. What feels like rejection is often his protection, shielding you from unnecessary pain and preserving your peace. Rejection also redirects your focus. It forces you to step back and reevaluate where you're placing your trust. Are you relying on your strength, your plans, and your understanding, or are you leaning into God's guidance? Rejection humbles us, teaching us to let go of what we think we need and embrace what God knows is best. When you face rejection, remember that God's no is never without purpose. It's his way of saying, I have something better for you. Trust that the closed doors are guarding you from harm and guiding you toward his perfect plan. Faith is not built in the moments when everything goes according to plan or when life feels easy and predictable. Faith grows in the spaces where uncertainty looms, where answers seem out of reach, and where surrender feels like the only choice. It is in these moments, when we let go of control and place our trust in God, that faith truly begins to take root and flourish. When life feels uncertain, it's tempting to lean on our understanding or scramble for solutions we can control. We want clarity, direction, and guarantees, but faith asks us to take a different path. It calls us to trust in what we cannot see, to believe in the promises of God even when they seem far away. Uncertainty tests the strength of that belief. It forces us to confront our fears, doubts, and insecurities, stripping away the illusions of control we cling to so tightly. Surrender is not a sign of weakness, it is an act of profound strength. To surrender is to acknowledge that we are not in control and to hand over the reins to the one who is. It's saying, God, I don't know what's next, but I trust you do. In surrender, faith is not only born but deepened. It's in releasing our grip on how we think things should go that we make room for God to work in ways we never imagined. Uncertainty pushes us closer to God. When the path ahead is unclear, we are drawn to seek his guidance, to spend time in prayer, and to listen for his voice. These moments of waiting, though difficult, are often where we experience the most profound growth. Our faith becomes less about what God can do for us and more about who he is, a loving, faithful, and sovereign God who works all things for our good. Surrender also transforms how we see the challenges in our lives. Rather than viewing uncertainty as a roadblock, we begin to see it as an opportunity for God to show his power and provision. Faith allows us to shift our perspective, trusting that even the delays, detours, and disappointments have a purpose. It teaches us to live in expectancy, believing that God is working behind the scenes, even when we can't see it. Ultimately, faith is about letting go of the need for certainty and embracing trust in God's plan. It's about finding peace not in knowing every step, but in knowing that he is with us every step of the way. In uncertainty and surrender, faith grows strong, steady, and unshakable. Waiting seasons can feel frustrating and even endless at times. You may find yourself questioning why things aren't moving forward, why prayers remain unanswered, or why your hard work hasn't yet yielded the results you hoped for. But what if the waiting isn't a delay, but a divine process of preparation? What if the season you're in is equipping you for the very purpose you've been called to fulfill? God uses waiting to refine and ready us. During these times, he molds our character, strengthens our resolve, and sharpens our focus. The purpose he has for your life is significant, but it requires you to be prepared for the weight of the calling. Imagine being handed something precious before you're ready to handle it. Without the skills, patience, or wisdom cultivated in waiting, you could squander what was meant to bless you. Waiting seasons are not punishment, they are preparation. In the stillness of waiting, God often reveals what we need to work on within ourselves. It could be a lesson in humility, a call to deepen our faith, or an invitation to heal from past wounds. These moments of introspection are opportunities to become the person capable of stewarding the blessings he has in store. Waiting teaches us patience and endurance, qualities that are essential for fulfilling any great purpose. It's in the quiet moments that we learn to rely not on our strength, but on God's, understanding that his timing is perfect. Waiting also realigns our focus. When we are eager to move ahead, it's easy to lose sight of what truly matters. But in the stillness, we're reminded to prioritize our relationship with God, to seek his will above our own, and to trust in his plan. Waiting creates space for God to work in ways we may not understand yet. It allows him to open the right doors, remove the wrong ones, and prepare the path ahead for his greater glory. Think of waiting as a season of planting. The seeds are sown, but the harvest doesn't come overnight. There's watering, nurturing, and growth that happens beneath the surface, unseen yet vital. In the same way, waiting seasons cultivate the qualities, experiences, and wisdom you need to walk into your purpose with confidence and grace. When the waiting ends and God's timing unfolds, you'll see how every moment of preparation was worth it. You'll recognize that what felt like a delay was, in fact, God's way of ensuring you're ready to fulfill the purpose He's designed specifically for you. Letting go of your plans is one of the hardest things to do, especially when you've poured your heart, energy, and time into them. We often cling tightly to the visions we've crafted for our lives, convinced that we know what's best. But there comes a point when holding on to our plans keeps us from experiencing the greater purpose God has in store. Surrendering our plans is not about giving up, it's about making room for something far better, His divine purpose. Our plans, as well-intentioned as they may be, are limited by our perspective. We can only see what's in front of us, and our understanding is shaped by our experiences, desires, and fears. God's perspective, however, is infinite. He sees the end from the beginning, knowing what lies ahead on every path. When He asks us to let go of our plans, it's not to leave us empty-handed, but to lead us to something greater, something aligned with His perfect will. Letting go requires trust, and trust is built in the moments when we release control. It's not easy to loosen our grip, especially when the plans we've made feel safe, familiar, or even promising. But holding on too tightly to what we think we want can block us from receiving what God knows we need. It's a leap of faith to surrender, to say, God, I trust you more than I trust myself. Your ways are higher and your purpose is greater. Embracing God's purpose often means stepping into the unknown. It may mean walking away from a path that feels comfortable or giving up a dream you've nurtured for years. But in that act of surrender, you position yourself to receive God's best. His purpose is always rooted in love, designed to prosper you and intended to bring glory to His name. When you align yourself with His will, you discover a peace and fulfillment that surpass anything your plans could have achieved. The beauty of letting go is that it opens your heart to transformation. As you release your plans, God begins to work within you, shaping your character, renewing your mind, and preparing you for the purpose He's called you to. You start to see that the plans you once held on to so tightly pale in comparison to the greater vision He has for your life. In the end, letting go of your plans is not about loss, it's about gain. It's about exchanging your limited vision for God's boundless purpose. When you embrace His plan, you step into a life of meaning, impact, and divine alignment. And in that surrender, you find the freedom to live the life you were truly created for. Blocked paths can feel like setbacks, disappointments, or even failures. When a door closes unexpectedly or a plan you've carefully crafted falls apart, it's natural to feel frustrated, confused, or even defeated. But with God, every blocked path carries a purpose far greater than what we can see in the moment. When we trust His plan, these seemingly insurmountable obstacles become stepping stones toward a higher destiny, one crafted by His perfect wisdom and love. God's plan is always bigger than what we imagine for ourselves. While we focus on the immediate, a job, a relationship, a goal, He sees the entire picture. He knows what will elevate us, challenge us, and ultimately fulfill the purpose He has placed in our hearts. A blocked path is His way of redirecting us toward that greater purpose, protecting us from paths that lead nowhere and guiding us toward those that align with His divine will. Trusting God in these moments requires faith, and faith grows strongest in uncertainty. When a path is blocked, it's an invitation to lean on Him, to seek His guidance, and to believe that He is working all things for our good. It's a call to surrender our limited understanding and embrace the truth that His ways are higher than ours. Trust doesn't eliminate the frustration or pain of a blocked path, but it gives us hope and assurance that the story isn't over. Blocked paths also serve to prepare us for what lies ahead. They teach us patience, resilience, and dependence on God. The delays and detours refine our character, shaping us into the people we need to become to handle the blessings and responsibilities of our destiny. God doesn't just prepare the path for us, He prepares us for the path. Every closed door and rerouted step is part of that preparation, ensuring that we're ready to walk into the purpose He has designed for us. There is a higher destiny waiting for those who trust God's plan. It's a destiny that doesn't just fulfill our desires, but exceeds them. When we look back on the paths that were blocked, we often realize they were blessings in disguise, leading us to opportunities, relationships, and experiences we could never have imagined. God's plan is not just about where He's taking us, but also about who He's shaping us to be along the way. So when a path is blocked, don't lose heart. Instead, see it as a divine redirection. Trust that God is guiding you towards something greater, something higher. In His plan, no setback is wasted, no delay is without purpose, and no closed door is final. Every blocked path, when met with faith, becomes a bridge to your higher destiny. In life, we all encounter moments when the paths we've carefully planned are suddenly blocked, detoured, or entirely closed. These moments can feel discouraging, even devastating. But through faith and trust in God, we come to see that every blocked path is part of a greater design, a divine orchestration that leads us not to rejection, but to redirection. God is not denying us. He is preparing us, protecting us, and guiding us toward the higher purpose He has uniquely crafted for each of us. When we let go of our plans, surrender our understanding, and embrace the process, we find that even the most uncertain and challenging seasons have profound meaning. Waiting strengthens us, surrender transforms us, and faith carries us forward. We learn to trust that God's timing is perfect, His ways are higher, and His purpose for our lives far exceeds anything we could have imagined. Every closed door, every delayed opportunity, and every blocked path is an invitation to grow deeper in faith, to rely on His guidance, and to step into a destiny that is not only greater but eternal. These moments of surrender and trust become the foundation of a life lived in alignment with God's will. They remind us that His plans are always for our good, designed to prosper us, shape us, and fulfill the purpose He created us for. So when you face a blocked path, don't see it as the end of the journey. Instead, see it as a divine reroute, a signal that God is leading you towards something higher, something greater, and something far more beautiful than you could have ever imagined. Trust Him, walk in faith, and know that the path He has for you will always lead you to the destiny He has perfectly prepared.